Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. It's true that this is one of those common sayings. And you don't doubt it because it makes sense to you. And it turns out when we investigate the facts, while there's not really any correlation here, what I'm talking about popular consensus has always been when you see Bitcoin or crypto moving off exchanges, well, it indicates. If you believe that people are investing for the long term, that they are attempting to put their crypto in cold storage, that there will be less on the market for purchasers to buy, then you can understand why prices are expected to soar. Coins typically enter the exchange markets when prices are skyrocketing, but this isn't always the case when investors take a closer look at the data. Moreover, the price typically falls whenever there is an outflow like this, or at least there is no correlation. We really can't take that seriously. Now that there has been such a sizable Bitcoin outflow, the question becomes whether or not the resulting price surge will be bullish. We'll keep a watch on it to see if it develops any significance or if time proves us wrong. Now we see a judge dismissing a class action lawsuit against Uniswitch over token fraud losses, thus this was a significant win for the SEC even though the case didn't go far. Because under current law, these aren't securities, there's not really anything you could do this as a decentralized technology, the judge essentially stated, and said, there's no identifiable party to go after here. This seems to be the view of the courts on this area. The results of utilizing Grayscale were seen. Of course, we witnessed what occurred with Ripple here recently. And now we have this action, which, once again, does not include the SEC. However, if this is how the courts are going to view this arena, and the SEC is eager to really go after, say, some DeFi applications, they are likely to get a very similar result. That's the way things ought to be, too. A warlord shouldn't be in charge of making all the decisions. To give the SEC the power it needs, new laws must be passed and it must be granted the authority to enforce them. That's a lot of good news for the cryptocurrency market. Let's go back to the SEC triumph achieved in Gray. It's evident that many people now believe this opens the door to a spot Bitcoin ETF. This is a warning. It is not necessary for their approval. They can't simply say no without offering an explanation, especially given that you have the futures product. I've even heard rumors that the SEC threatened to simply discontinue the futures product. Then we'll be able to handle everything with parity. That's not how I see this playing out. I can tell you that they are probably more open to the idea now. Because if things go wrong and people suffer significant losses to their retirement, endowment, and pension money, they can respond with, "What do you want us to do?" We challenged their decision in court, and the judge ruled in their favor. Since the burden of proof lies with the courts and not with us, I think the SEC is more inclined to give up the fight. All we need is time. This is why your neighborhood rock show at Fidelity's is so intense, everyone is preparing for the competition. There's only so long you can put off dealing with the problem. That's why I believe we share a special bond. I have no idea what will take place this year. I think it's quite unlikely that this won't occur before the end of 2019. It's early in the new year, most likely. This, I believe, demonstrates that this was significant outside the realm of Grayscale. The significance of the Ripple case in court wasn't limited to the company itself. It has far-reaching implications for the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. The publicly traded shares of Coinbase have also responded warmly to the news. And I believe that the stock price has increased by roughly 7 or 7.5% in the past 5 trading days. And much of that can be attributed to the joyous celebration of this black and white triumph. Realizing that the SEC can only keep the area quiet for so long, the public is beginning to enter the site. When told that a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, ETF, is imminent, he sarcastically adds, "I'll believe it when I see it on the Digital Asset News website." And I can appreciate that point of view. So many times we've been told that the Bitcoin ETF is on the verge of approval, only to have it denied, the cat kicked down the road, or progress stalled. Something is the safest way to ensure that something will occur after it has been approved and before it can be counted on. There only needs to be one, and it has a high probability of occurring in this setting. The current estimates put the likelihood at around 95%, so it won't be too long. This is a huge, huge problem. Cryptocurrency, crypto, is a stable digital asset, but Gary doesn't do DCA and stack SATs. I bid you a good night. It's important to keep in mind that the current situation won't last forever. Despite the current squabbling with governments and the lack of clarity and rules, crypto's potential is still present and the foundation is still being built. And the worth will be there as well. As a result, you have to, well, disregard the current calamities. Despite the promising outlook, it is difficult to predict when things will begin to heat up here again. And when it does, you'll be thankful that you prepared for it by working hard and being diligent, and that you're basically ready to go into battle. It is inevitable. I can't say for sure when, but I have a feeling it won't be too much longer. 2024, 2025, we ought to present a nice image. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe and like as always. See you soon, bye.